2025 could never see me again, okay? That groupie hoe can catch me outside. But I did make some heat. So let's go through them. By the way, it's 45 degrees in Miami, and it's the middle of January. Just a disclaimer, I made a lot more than what I'm about to show you in this video, but either I don't know where it is or it was an order for someone, so obviously the customer has it, but I will be showing you pictures of what it looked like. So let's get into the video. I created my YouTube channel of August or September of 2025. But prior to that, I was making just regular, I wouldn't say regular clothes, but I was just making clothes, not costumes for sure. So these are just a few of the things that I made. I made like a lilac, lavender dress that was given like Daphne from Scooby-Doo, because that definitely was given Daphne Scooby-Doo because I was pairing it with these white boots and it was giving go-go. And then I made this two-toned long sleeve collared dress, pink dress. I made a couple of outfits for my brother, so those are gonna just be on the screen. And I also made, but this is after my channel, I also made something for a wide body Dami. If you know her, she rides her SRT, which I was in, by the way, Bookie in the pit while she was doing circles and donuts, Bookie. It was a time, I had a time. It was like adrenaline rushing. I loved it so much. My first time being in the pit, and I absolutely loved the experience. And Dami is so down there, she's so nice. This dress, it is so freaking cute. It features a mandarin collar, cap sleeves, and these covered buttons, and then this peekaboo cut, like keyhole cutout, teardrop keyhole cutout in the dress area. I'm gonna put a picture of what it looks like, and then I made sure I did like a ruffle detail on the bottom. It also has like, this is lycra, by the way, so it's super stretchy. Next up is this white dress that for some reason, I don't know how, but it low-key shrank and it has a stain on it. Okay, so this dress was kind of just inspired by like a wife beater, which is what it's giving. Slit going down the leg, but you probably can't see from afar. There is a lot of hand beading going on. So tedious, but I actually loved hand beading. Just sitting on the bed and just gathering up the colors, and everything was kind of like a specific colorway. There's also binding around the collar. If I say collar, I meant neckline and the armholes. So really giving that wife beater effect. So this is one of my summer dresses. I'll probably be wearing if I go to any like beach parties, yacht party or something, I'll wear this. This next piece I made, it was the first video I made for the channel, but I believe I took it down because it was copyrighted. And anybody got time to go back and be like, oh, let me edit this sound out. Take it down. It's this trench coat, this cherry flannel trench. This was the first time I've ever made a trench coat. I followed a pattern that I got from Hobby Lobby. This material, this fabric, I got from Joann's, y'all. It took my girl way too soon. They should have took Michael's. I don't know why they took Joann's. They should have took Michael's. It features a belt that you can wrap around the waist and 2 pockets. But look, this is like the best part. Like the lining is this Tiffany blue color. I wanted a contrast abstract color, and I'm so happy that I chose this color. It is just, it's so freaking pretty. Now this next piece was a very ambitious and daring project for me to take on for my first costume piece for YouTube. It is my quilted corset set. It featured these leg warmers that I made for, you know what, I don't know why I'm saying I'm making them for anything. I just make them because I want to. It's really what it is. There's no reason for me to make any of these, honestly. I just be testing myself. I'm like, oh, that popped in my head. That sounds crazy. Like, I should make that. And that's how we get here. So this skirt was quilted. Just a regular full circle skirt. that I layered with batting and with lining, and I used a crayon and a ruler and a dream and marked all my lines and just went ham. It was a very lengthy process. I'm so happy I made it. I'm so happy I stuck through with it. But this had your girl going through it, okay? But let's peep my application of my zipper and then my button, which should have been a lot more over, so it would close up better. The zipper is encased in the lining as well. Do you see that? Encased. You could really wear this reversible if you wanted to. We had a time with the corset. A lot of hand sewing went into this, mainly for the bias binding. It was just, and I love hand sewing, so it wasn't really a problem for me to do the bias binding. I realized at the last minute when I finished the corset that I wanted a bit more modesty, so I went ahead and just sewed a rectangle and hand stitched it inside. And it's my first time adding grommets to something, and these actually stayed. I actually want to go in and want to kind of like, I think it's like embroidery floss that you take and you're just wrapping it around the grommets. That's what I want to do. But it's just a sweetheart neckline, a regular corset, and this pattern I made from, all these patterns I made from just duct taping my entire body. But this corset was so sturdy, it did not buckle, it did not crease, it was just stayed where it needed to be. I don't know what made me make these leg warmers. I just be doing stuff. I'm like, oh, I have all this stuff of fabric. Let's put this together, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, they came together. They really do look like chaps. And if you wear them a certain way, you can look bow-legged. I have got to show you the inside because I made sure I finished the inside perfectly. So the trim that you saw on the outside was hand stitched, and this, what are we looking at right now? Was hand stitched, and this took quite a while. This probably took 2 hours. And this doesn't, oh no, the both of them probably took 2 hours. I know it doesn't seem like it took 2 hours, or maybe it took an hour, but it seemed like it took forever. And there's just hair stuck in here, so I'm just trying to pop it out. And then I just finished the edges with, like after I sewed the trim, I finished the edges with this ribbon that I had. It was fun, it was challenging, and I'm glad that I did it. It was fun. You don't realize it's fun until after you're done with the project. Then you're like, oh, this wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Is probably like one of my most creative pieces that I've made thus far. I just feel like this was never before seen. So, introducing to you the pumpkin dress. This dress or corset piece, this set, it literally was like, it's fall season. I should make a corset of pumpkin, like a pumpkin. But I'm like, how do I even make that look right? Like, and then I thought about the bubble skirt. So that's basically what this is. It's just a bubble skirt, but instead of one, it's two full skirt. Yeah. If you watch the video, you'll figure out what it's made of and how to make it. But I'm like, the bubble skirt literally to me gives like either pumpkin or can give like a flower if you hold it up upside down. So I'm like, what if I just, when I'm researching the bubble skirt, I'm like, there's 2 layers. So that means that there's like an inside, like I can pocket like leftover fabric inside of it. And that's exactly what I did, and it came out more pumpkin than ever. This was, everybody loved this. I got so much traction from this. Like I even went to the pumpkin, what is that thing called? The pumpkin patch, and took pictures, and I was getting so much love from this design. Like everybody loved it. The corset was a piece of work, but I'm so happy that I decided to go with these like jagged edges to kind of emulate the bottom of a pumpkin stem. And I'm so happy that I made it like go in like this too as well. This was crazy. I think the only thing that I would change about the pumpkin corset, the stem corset, is that I would just put like a stiffer material against the leather, or I would probably like do a stiff interfacing or even like a twill like against the leather. But I would still use this like thin lining that I have. Same lining that I used on the last project. It has some stretch and some give, and although this is a costume piece, it's not necessarily meant to like suck me in, I still wanted it to suck me in for this project because this pumpkin skirt is just so voluminous that you kind of just want to seem as small as possible on the top because your lower half is just so plumped up. But it did its job, and it also, the sturdiness would have, like if I had added like a more sturdy material, it wouldn't have like bowed so much. Like I didn't have any problem with quilted corset bowing because it had so many layers. It had interfacing on the fashion fabric. It had 2 layers of like 2 or 4 layers of batting. It had like the lining. It just had so many layers to the point where it was just it stood up by itself basically. And that's what you want your corsets to do. They should be able to stand up by themselves. This is not doing that at all. So I think that if I ever were to remake, I would just make a derivative of it just because I like to move on from things. I'd probably just make a flower petal dress. So basically it would be the same thing, just the corset would probably look more like a more like a stem. And then the skirt would just look more like a flower, and it wouldn't be orange. It would probably be like pink fading up into like a yellow or like a white or something. And then, you know, the stem would be, the corset would be the stem and it would be green. So I think but I would still use this like vinyl or this leather material just to give off that like stem, what's the word? Stem feeling, look, you know what I'm talking about. It was completely lined, it was boned to the T. It just needed more stability. You know, she was just not giving I'm your support system. It was giving like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know what I'm saying? No. For this next project, stepping away from corsets, and we're stepping away from short skirts, short dresses, those type of things. And we're going into more fairy tale, more what's the word? More princessy vibes, you know what I'm saying? The last one was giving fairy. The one before that, the quilted corset, was giving, couldn't even tell you what that's giving. It's giving couch. It's giving couch.
Rip me out the plastic looking like a grandmama couch. I've been so long, I'm paying premium, stay ouch.
Y'all, I absolutely loved this project. I loved this project. I made mock-ups from this project, and I'm not a mock-up girl. I don't like making mock-ups. Like, I usually fix as I go along, but for this, I made a mock-up, and this came out so beautifully. I still had to make some changes when I started sewing on the self fabric, but I was just so in awe with this. The iridescent organza, I was like, ooh, this is so beautiful. Like the orange iridescence into green, into pink, and then the contrast of the blue, like this Tiffany blue or aquamarine, whatever you want to call it. This, by the way, this color, the color that's also in the trench coat, are my favorite colors. That is my favorite color. Like, just look how beautiful this is. And then it had a tier of ruffles at the bottom, and it was just so dreamy. Like, it's giving like you just want to run around in a castle and just eat. I don't even know what do princesses eat in like the 18, 17, 16, 15. What I don't even know what time period this is from. Could someone please tell me? Because I have no idea. All I know is I need a castle and I need to run in it immediately. But this is my first time doing a puff sleeve with pains in them. And the way that I took, by the way, the trim did not come like this. I had to do this myself. I bought 2 sets of trim, a gold one and then I used this Tiffany blue or teal, whatever. I use this color ribbon and I just like cut little holes in them in the trim and fed the ribbon through. I had a time making this. Like I just kept adding and adding and adding and adding and feeling like, you know, like there's just so much that I could do. Added the loops and then made sure I added as the tie the same color ribbon. Like it just kept getting better and better and better. And honestly, I did not know how this was gonna look like. I had a base idea, and a lot of times have a base idea, and a lot of times I'll just keep going and feeding the idea and going and changing stuff and adding. And that's exactly what costume making I feel like is. It's basically just, you just never know. You just have a basic idea, trying things out, adding more. And sometimes you don't need to add. Sometimes a little is enough. But for this, I had to go all the way. Now, you would think that that overcoat, waistcoat thing, whatever, robe, whatever you want to call it, would give me problems. But this simple dress here is what gave me problems. Mind you, this is actually it's way too big for me. You know why? Because I used an old pattern. That's probably what it was. But I had so much issue trying to make this. First of all, I was trying to make it like a tube top thing. I just gathered the top, gathered the skirt, and I was giving marshmallow. I was like, take that down, Mookie. That looks questionable. It looks terrible. I do not want that, okay? And then I'm like, you know what? Let's do it again, but just have more of like an umpire waist, do like the bustier tops, like just have like princess seams and just do that, which is what I did. It's still big. It features a zipper that I just decided to put in last minute. This is not even the proper zipper that you would use. Like this is actually a separating zipper, I believe. But I figured that I would probably just harvest the zipper for something else anyway. Or who knows, I might not even touch this. This might just stay in my closet. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody say, oh, I need a costume for some event. Ren Fair is coming up. Somebody might need to wear it. Who knows? Also had these arm giblets. I never know what to call these things. I just make words. These arm giblet things that have like slits that my arms could just like, my hands could reach out of. So cute. It just added more to the whimsy. It just added so much more to the whimsy. This is kind of giving like veil. I feel like I've seen people add these onto their wedding dresses. And that's what I'm talking about. I just kept adding and adding and adding. This was adding and taking away sometimes, because I believe I was going through Fabric Wholesale Direct and ordering the fabric, and I'm like, oh, the original design was to have orange and pink. But the orange already was having iridescence of pink. I felt like the pink undertone would have just threw it off and took away from the iridescence. So I'm like, let's just do white. You know what I'm saying? Let's just do it. Yeah. This was the last project I made for 2025. I had plans to make something else, but I got sick. I got so sick and I had to stay in the bed for like 2 weeks. And once I sat in bed for 2 weeks, Christmas rolled upon us, so it didn't make no sense. But this is my last project for 2025. I have this fabric left over, so I made a cute corset. I did wear this out. I wore it to go watch the Nutcrackers, my first ballet recital I've ever watched. Using fabric that I've had stacked up for years is just the best thing to just use up your inventory. Like, I didn't have to go buy anything. This was fabric that I had sitting in my closet or my drawer or my storage unit somewhere. And all I had to do was go buy the interlaying, which was like this full material. And that was really it. That's all I had to go buy. I even had this. I had this from a customer or a client that I had years ago. Just a rectangle that I gathered up because I didn't have enough to make a circle skirt. A circle skirt would have been a lot more flowy, but I'm not mad at it. This material is just so cute and liquidy. And then I also had some leftover fabric, and I don't like to waste nothing for real. So we made a bow, which I just wore like this, like I was like some 1950s, I don't even know the words, poodle girl or something. Like, yeah. The only thing I have a problem with again is just the stability, the sturdiness. I have scoliosis, so my body leans to this side actually, and I've had it since high school because I used to wear my book bag on this side of me because this is like my dominant side, so I wear my book bag this side, so my body has leaned to this side naturally. So if I don't have anything on, you can see, like, you would see a crease like right here because that's just how I normally stand. And I'm realizing that even with this, I have a project that I made for this year, and I realize, what are my words? Even on my most recent project that I made for this year, my first project, I'm realizing that I'm having an issue with my corsets staying straight because they're bulking to one side because there's not enough stability, or maybe my torso is kind of like, it's giving shorter on this side because I'm tilting this way. I hope that makes sense. It's not shorter obviously, but because I'm tilting this way, it has a natural crease to it, which is causing it to be a little shorter than this side. What I'm going to change in the future is to just add, which I didn't add fusible to this at all, and I did have the twill, but the twill could have even used more fusible. Like I could have just, you know what I'm saying, like I could have just used hard fusible on this and then even add a thin fusible on the twill and then lined it. I got this idea to make this dress because I'm like, we're still in this, in my head I was like, I'm still in this kind of like princessy vibe, and I want to do like a cute princessy dress. And also Wicked was like released probably like 2-3 weeks ago, so I'm like, this is such a cute way to kind of like honor that Wicked is coming to a close, because not gonna lie, I've never seen a movie advertised as much as Wicked. Like, it was just collab after collab after collab after premiere after premiere after premiere after YouTube video after YouTube video after cosplay after cosplay, and I've never seen a movie do that ever. And I don't know if another movie will do that again, and at least not for a while. Like, Wicked really came and did a huge number on us in last year because it was just so much publicity. But it was a great movie. Wicked for Good was wonderful. But I think that's it. That's all that I've made for 2025. Welcome everyone to 2026. Please create more, do more for yourself, and just make sure that you're testing yourself, challenge yourself, go outside of your box, go outside of these four, I don't know what it is, this corner right here, this corner right here, this corner right here, this corner over here. Just make sure you're thinking outside of that, okay? Everything that I made is because I was like, I've never made these things before. Everything that I've made, I was just like, I have a freaking idea, I have a dream, I have the basis of sewing. Let's go do some research and figure out how we're gonna make it, and then you test it out and you just go for it. Go for it, okay? Go for it. I would have never started this channel, I would have never made these things if I just didn't wake up one day and say, to hell with it, I'm just gonna do it. So just do it, even if it looks terrible, because some of these things to me look look freaking terrible. They actually look terrible. I'm proud of it still, but they could be better. And I kind of struggle with perfectionism, so I know. So, but still, regardless, I'm still proud of it. I still have learned so much, even just talking to you guys about the projects. Like, I'm learning so much about how I can level up my sewing. Just keep going. Please do not stop. Create. Creating and sewing and making clothes to me is the closest that I feel to myself. It's the closest that I feel like I'm being true to myself. So it's the happiest that it makes me, making stuff. And then sewing stuff to me, sewing clothes, making costumes is like the happiest that I've been for the last part of 2025 and the end of 2025, the middle of 2025, the beginning of 2025. 2025 was just, it was not for the weak, okay? Like, I was going downhill, and I'm happy that I was getting out of it. You know what I'm saying? I gave myself a purpose. I gave myself like a purpose that I was happy to do. Like, I was so happy to just make stuff, create crazy colorful things. I love color. And I needed to bring that into, I need to bring whimsy. I need to bring fairy tale. I need to bring happiness. I need to bring creativity back into my life, because I just felt like I had stopped doing that for a very long time. I stopped doing what I wanted to do, and I stopped making what I wanted to make, and I took a huge chunk out of me. So please test yourself, make what you want to make, be creative, step outside your box, okay? That's all I gotta say. And make sure you continue to stay and be a good person. Okay, bye.